Raúl Grijalva is a congressman, Democrat. He is the longest-serving Democrat in the state of Arizona, a longest-serving congressperson in the state of Arizona. He's been in Congress since like 2002.
Oh.
So he's been there for a hot minute.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
He came out today and became the second sitting congressperson, because I do think, if you in Congress, Democrat, to say that Joe Biden should step aside and should not run for president.
Hang it up. Yeah, I mean...
I'm just saying.
You think it's coming from a place of criticism or care?
Well,
do they care so much about him that they're like,
that's
hey...
interesting. It's a good point. Here's what I know about Representative Grijalva.
Okay.
He is certainly, like as far as Democrats go, he's not moderate. He's kind of more on the liberal side.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So it probably means that he is... I don't think he's opposed to like Joe Biden policies. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we went and looked it up, I'm sure he votes with Biden the majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? One of those guys. So it's not ideological. It's not like he's a member of the squad or something. You know?
And he's like, you know what? I don't like what you're doing. No. I don't like where this is going. You need to get out.
But it is interesting because I wonder if, and I don't think there's anything wrong, if he's saying, you know what? You have to know when it's time. You have to know when. Because here's why I say this. Raúl Grijalva is not going to have problems getting reelected. He's in like one of those seats and one of those people now. He can get reelected to the end of time.
He's going to be there.
He's
going nowhere.
Wants. Right.
So wouldn't you think he would keep that in mind as well for himself?
Well, I'm saying, so he's not worried that Joe Biden's going to hurt his reelection chance.
Right.
Like, that has nothing to do with it. He's going to win his seat. I don't even know if there's a Republican running against him. You know what I'm saying? He's going to win. So he's safe to come out and say something like this.
Because it's not going to affect his seat. So I feel like, I don't know. According to people in his camp, they're saying these lapses are becoming way more common, especially since the debate. Well, if we can call it a lapse, I don't even know what you call that.
Here's what I don't get. And I say this to the Biden fans or people that wear the D on their chest as Democrats. I ain't one of them. Okay? How can you look at, let's just say the debate is one thing. Let's look at the last 6 months. How can you look at that and not say we are dealing with a man of diminishing capacity? And when I say diminishing, listen, my mom has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Okay? It ain't going to get better.
Right.
She isn't going to suddenly get,
right.
with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. And I'm not claiming that Joe Biden has dementia or Alzheimer's. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Father Time is undefeated.
Yes.
And tomorrow he's going to be one day older.
Yes. And so now it's like not even just winning the race here. It's like or finishing another term. Gaydos was referring to like he's not going to make it to September.
I got to say, it's just really interesting because I would turn out and say that it's a trickle right now. Two sitting congressmen have come out and said something. There's plenty of other pundits and media people and whatever that are calling for Joe Biden. But what if, like, Obama says something? What if Hillary says something?
Would? I've thought about that plenty of times.
Will the trickle become a
wave?
A wave.
Right.
And could it happen over this weekend? Here's why I say that. President Biden is sitting down for an interview on Friday. A softball interview. It's going to be with George Stephanopoulos.
Okay.
It'll be the first time he's going to take any questions or talk since the debate, which was 1 week ago tomorrow. Okay. Hasn't taken questions. He's read off a teleprompter, things like that. I mean, if he vapor locks or forgets what he's talking about during an interview with George Stephanopoulos, How are people going to continue to deny gravity? I say, and just go, this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening.
Because all these different reasons are coming out for why he performed the way he did during the debate as well, whether it was international travel, whether it was, him, in his own words, coming back and then falling asleep on stage.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and they're saying...
By the way, he blamed international travel.
Yes.
He'd been in the United States for 12 days prior to the...
Well, he said that he had been in like 2 different time zones within those last 2 days. So, he didn't listen to his team. And then he showed up and came back and, quote, fell asleep on stage. But, and then there's reasons like, oh, well, he kind of has an issue with the crowds and things like that. So maybe that's why, I don't know.
I look at this and
sad.
say...
I see him as a grandpa, so I just see him as a human being.
No, and
I go, this is sad to see this happening and play out like that. And then you remember that he's actually the sitting president. So what are we doing here?
So you say that, and here's my comparison. Nancy Reagan protecting Ronald Reagan after his presidency, but she was very protective of him when he was in the White House, when he had early onset dementia. Ronald Reagan was in declining health near the end of his term. She protected him. I don't feel like there's a lot of people. If they're protecting Joe Biden, they're doing a horrible job.
I was going to say, that's a failing grade.
They keep pushing him into situations where he's failing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't see that same kind of defense.
Well, I did get some, I get the tweets,
Oh.
I do get on the Twitter machine at the Bruce A. James. Somebody says, we'll see. His interview with Stephanopoulos should restore some sanity. Maybe. You're assuming it's going to go well. I don't know.
We have no, it's really a coin flip because we saw what we saw at the debate, and then the very next day, all that vigor that you talked about of
which
him
one
showing
shows
up, like, which one are we going to get in this interview?
And Cam tweeted me and said, I just called Grijalva's Tucson office to express my disgust on his indirect support for Trump. I'll take old and effective over hateful MAGA policies. Wow. And I would turn around and say, I didn't take it as he was supporting Trump.
No, I didn't either.
And Raúl Grijalva said, I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is, even if it's Joe Biden. He just thinks it's time for Joe Biden to step aside. Anyway, but I don't think the story's going away.
No.
It's getting more traction, if you will.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.